Good afternoon, everyone. We are gathered here today to honor the life and legacy of Mindy Monroe. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us to celebrate her life. She has undoubtedly touched all of your lives in a unique way, and I'd like to begin by offering some words that speak to what most of you are probably feeling when you think about her. The first is a poem entitled "The Precious Gift." One gift above all others God gives us to treasure, one that knows no time, no place, and one gold cannot measure. The precious, poignant, tender gift of memory that will keep our dear ones ever in our hearts, although God gives them sleep. It brings back long remembered things, a song, a word, a smile, and our world's a better place because we had Mindy for a while. This next one speaks to the immeasurable love that she filled all of your lives with, and no doubt also the void that is left behind by her loss. It's entitled, "How Deep is the Ocean?" How can I tell you what is in my heart? How can I measure each and every part? How can I tell you how much I love you? How can I measure just how much I do? How much do I love you? I'll tell you no lie. How deep is the ocean? How high is the sky? How many times a day do I think of you? How many roses are sprinkled with dew? How far would I travel to be where you are? How far is the journey from here to a star? And if I ever lost you, how much would I cry? How deep is the ocean? How high is the sky? The Jews are an ancient people who are well accustomed to pain and grief. And at times like these, the Psalms can bring us a sense of comfort. So in that spirit, I'd like to read a few now. This is Psalm 121. I will lift up mine eyes unto the mountains. From whence shall my help come? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel doth neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall guard thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, both now and forever. And this is Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And finally, from the book of Ecclesiastes, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak. And at this time, I would like to invite some of the family members to come up and share their memories. So we'll start with Stephen.
Okay, so I got a few things to say myself, and then Linda, of course, had a couple of things I'm going to say on her behalf, and Michael wanted me to say something as well, so it's not too long. I want to say a few words about my little sister, Mindy. My amazing wife, Linda, and I are heartbroken over our loss. Mindy had a lot of love in her, and she lived her life giving everything she ever had to her kids. She cared and loved her entire family so much. If you could think of one word associated with Mindy, it was the word love. And Mindy was so happy and proud to be a grandma to Shane. And I'm so glad that she had an opportunity, a chance to meet her newest son, born just within the last couple of weeks, Ethan. I always said to Mindy, and recently, not the last time I saw her, but the time before that, I said, I was trying to be a little philosopher and saying, everybody's got good things in life, and everybody's got their crosses to bear, or things that they wish they had that they didn't. I said, as an example, Mindy, I'm sure you think of some things you wish you had, but you have a grandson, and you're about ready to have another one. I would give anything for that. So trying to make the point that everybody's got something to be glad that they have. A special acknowledgement to our mother. Hang in there, Mom. I know you will. You're so strong, and you always do. I love you. To David, Kyle, Ryan, Shane, and Ethan, your mom's life, you were your mom's life. She loved and cared about you guys so much. She'll always be watching over you, all of us, guys, and you guys are her legacy. To my brother Howard, what can I say, Hal? We lost our little sister. How sad. To Michael, I know how much you loved your aunt and always enjoyed visiting with her over the years. Mindy, may you rest in peace. You're once again united with your beloved sister Amy and father. I will think about you often, miss you so much, and we'll never forget you. Rest easy, dear Mindy, my little sister. I love you so much. Linda had a few short words to say, and I had to insist that I'll say it for her. Mindy, we always had a special relationship and shared so many memories over the years. You mean so much to me. I love you, we'll miss you dearly, and we'll always treasure our memories and relationship. Mindy and Linda really liked each other, both ways. It was pretty obvious. Michael gave me some words to say on his behalf. He wishes he could be here today and sends his love and thoughts to everybody in the family. And the rest that I have to say is for Michael. My Aunt Mindy, and not Mindy, because she always insisted that I call her by her full title and name and never anything else. So to me, she was always Aunt Mindy, not just Mindy. That's what she wanted. Was a deeply caring, loving, and resilient person. She always gave so much of her time and love to her family, including me. I'm glad she was able to meet and see her newest grandson. To my family, Grandma, me, Father, Mother, Linda, cousins, nephews, nieces, uncles, and aunts. My heart is with you all as we remember the joyful times and reflect on the hard ones. She'll deeply be missed, and with us in thought and spirit always. Rest in peace, Mindy.
Next, I'll call on Howard.
Growing up with Mindy her earlier years, Mindy was outgoing. She enjoyed being with friends. She enjoyed having a good time. She was a happy child. However, Mindy was at a young age of 8 years old when the divorce happened. Unlike the rest of us who were slightly older, I believe this event and the subsequent divorce seemed to have a profound impact on her life. I guess in many ways, Mindy felt very rejected because, in her young mind, the two first men in her life, her two dads, had left her, and it was her fault. She was to blame. This created a low self-esteem that followed Mindy throughout her life. She never really believed in herself, which seemed to get in her way. But Mindy, you never had any reason to feel that way. You were just as good as any of us, in some ways, even better. If only you realized it. You had a very good, caring heart, and although you never had many material things to give to others, whenever and whatever you had, you gave to others, especially your children. In my opinion, Mindy represented the epitome of a generous person, one that has so little to give, but gives it without hesitation and with all their heart to others. That was Mindy. And Mindy never had a real reason to feel inferior to others. Before life beat her down so very much, she had a wonderful personality and was so much fun to be with. The life of the party, always laughing, lots of friends, and a very witty sense of humor. And she cared about others. Mindy's short marriage must have left her with further blow to her feelings of worth. But Mindy had 3 young boys to care for, and to her, that became everything in her life. She had to be both mom and dad to all of them once their father disappeared from their lives. There was nothing in the world that meant more to Mindy than her 3 boys. And no matter what they did, good or bad, she had such unconditional love for them and was there for them wherever it was, attending all their sporting events. If my memory seems correct, I think once she was a coach of one of their basketball teams. Or giving what little money she had to support and defend them no matter what. Throughout Mindy's life, her and I shared a special kind of relationship. She always looked up to me as her big brother, and I tried to help her and protect her any way I could. All she had to do was call me in need, and my heart would instantly melt. And despite her own continuing troubles, Mindy took such an interest in my life and the lives of my family. She enjoyed not only being a mom, but also Aunt Mindy and eventually Grandma, a role she owned all by herself. Despite her downward spiraling health issues, Mindy loved being a grandma to Shane, and no matter how bad she felt, a smile would light up her face when I asked her to see any recent pictures of her and Shane. Mindy, I will miss walking to Mom's home and seeing you smile when you saw me from your chair at the back of the house. I will forever miss the daily, sometimes twice daily calls from you and the hours we sometimes spent on the phone trying to help you cope with you during your toughest times the last few years. I always knew how much these calls meant to you. But Mindy, as your memory worsened the past year, I too lost my patience and sometimes was too hard on you. And so, Mindy, I am so sorry for any pain this caused and hope you can hear me now and forgive me. I know you are in a good place because you deserve to be. And you are now with your big sister, Amy, and your father. And I'm sure in death, they will watch over you as they did in life. You had a very big place in my heart, and without you, part of it is gone forever. May you rest in peace, my sweet sister. I will always love you forever. You tell me about this.
I'd like to read a poem entitled, We Remember Them. At the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and the chill of winter, we remember them. At the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. At the blueness of the skies and the warmth of summer, we remember them. At the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. At the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we have joy we crave to share, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. As long as we live, she too will live, for she is now a part of all of us as we remember Mindy. And I'd like to invite David up.
A lot easier writing this than it is going to be say it. As we're here today to celebrate the life of a fiercely loving and loyal to a fault woman, I can't help but feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude. The loss is profound, no doubt about that. But my mother would be thrilled that we're all here together. Whenever we were, that was her happy place. My mother possessed an incredible capacity for love, a love that knew no bounds and touched everyone she met. Her love for her family was the cornerstone of her life. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Let me hold you. You want to stand up here? Yeah, you can sit right there. Okay. 1 second. Let me read this, okay? You can say hi.
Hi, everybody.
I love you. Cornerstone of her life. From the moment we, her 3 children, were born, we became her everything. She poured her heart and soul into raising us. As a single mother raising 3 boys, that meant utilizing every single resource at her disposal.
I will feed you later, baby Wyatt.
Every resource at her disposal, and it wasn't easy. We meant everything to her, truly everything. Every laugh, every cry, every bout of anger, every emotion, it all touched her to her core. She was the gatekeeper of all our secrets, our shoulder to cry on, our sounding board to vent to, and the first one to share in our joy. She was always there and never missed an occasion. Recently, in July, she got a chance to make it down to Florida to see my brothers. They had moved there about a year prior. While she was not able to fully express how she felt, the strokes did have that limiting ability. However, she had told me and a few others that she was happy for them. She was very proud of the life that Kyle and Ryan are building for themselves. Please stop. I really do think she was finally at peace with that, and it was able to breathe a bit easier knowing that they would make it and they would be okay. You good, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay. You sure? You want to say anything before I continue?
Yeah.
You want to say anything about Grandma Mindy?
So Grandma Mindy went to heaven. That means his heart's not beating as he have to.
Okay. Do you miss her? Do you love her?
Yes. He missed during holidays and fun and other Thanksgivings.
Oh, yes. All right, buddy. Why don't you go with Mommy, okay? I'm going to finish this up. I love you. Great job. rewinding a little bit. When Cora and I had found out that we were pregnant, we were set to have a gender reveal at our house. I was trying so hard to keep the baby's gender a secret, but I had to spill the beans. I pulled her aside shortly before we were going to do the unveiling, or the reveal, and I told her the baby's gender. Smile on my mother's face, is, it's etched here, burned here, forever. To say she was thrilled is a massive understatement. I can't recall a time when I saw her happier than that. Turns out we were having a boy. Shane. Hey, buddy. Grandma. To Grandma, you were her Shane Shine. She called you that all the time. Your grandma, grandma adored, loved, and cherished you like nobody else. She was so proud to be your grandma. It made her so happy. She loved coming over to watch you play with you, play your board games, do arts and crafts, go to Johnson's farm, your birthday and holiday celebrations, Sunday dinners. She loved and cherished every single minute she got to spend with you, including digging into the depths of her purse to pull out candy. A very special shout out to the stale candies that made their appearances in my house. Shane, you probably don't remember this, but your love of Kit Kats started with Grandma. My boy, you are so lucky and blessed to have had Grandma Mindy as your grandma. She loved you so, so much. She is your guardian angel, your protector who watches over you and makes sure that you're happy, loved, and safe. Whenever you think of Grandma, I know your smile will shine all the way up to heaven so Grandma can see, and every so often, she'll send down a small twinkle of her own. As everyone knows, most everyone at this point, we have a brand new addition to our family, a 13-day-old precious baby boy named Ethan. I feel so lucky and fortunate that Mom was able to meet him. Looking back at the events that led to Mom's passing, I really do feel she was holding on so she would be able to meet her second grandson. Thankfully, we were able to make that happen. 2 different occasions, both of which she was able to hold and love on Ethan. I will be forever grateful for those 2 moments. My mother's love was not defined by grand gestures. It was evident in everyday acts of kindness and care. According to Uncle Howie, only 2 calls a day. I mean, that's great. I got 100. And sometimes often before lunch. But looking back, however frustrating that may have been, what I would give for one more. Mom's love extended beyond our immediate family. She had a unique way of connecting with people, evident by the outflowing of kind words from so many of our friends. One friend wrote, "You were always very special, social and warm to me." Another, "Mindy was a beautiful, loving mom and grandmom, and I was so blessed to know your mom." Another, "She was such a kind woman, always nice and welcoming to me." And lastly, somebody had wrote, "What a wonderful woman she was," and she was. There were more, but that's a small taste of the impression that our mom left on people. I wish she were here for many reasons, but chief among them to see and feel what she meant to all of us here today. I'm not sure she ever fully understood that, not until now. In the last few months, Mom's body was put through the ringer, but I do find solace with the knowledge that her mind, body, and spirit are healed. There's no more pain, no more confusion. Mom is healed. In remembering her today, let us honor Mom by embodying the love she so generously shared with us. Let us cherish our families, nurture our friendships, and extend kindness to those around us. My mother's legacy is one of love, a love that transcends time and space, a love that will continue to guide and inspire us for the rest of our lives. Mom, I know one of the biggest worries you had was making sure that we'd all be okay. I can't say that we are today, but I can say that tomorrow will be better, the day after that a bit better, and so on. Mom, I love you. Thank you for everything.
We're going to have Mindy's mother, Barbie, come up in just a moment, but before she does, I would just ask, is there anyone that would like to just say a word? Okay, then we'll invite Barbie up.
You'll excuse me if I cough. As soon as I talk, I'm coughing these days. Anyway, I have nothing to read because I just speak out with whatever happens. And it's heartwarming to hear what has been said so far and how much Mindy meant to her family. I thank everyone here for sharing this day for us because this is her day and it's the last day of her, and we appreciate that you are sharing this with us. Mindy and I were very different people. We thought differently and we did things differently, and we let each one of us let us live our own lives the way we wanted to, and we remained close and accepted what each other did. Mindy was left with 3 children at an early age, the oldest being 5 years old, and a newborn and a 2-year-old. And she played her role. It wasn't easy financially for her, but she was there for her children their whole lives. They meant everything to her. I don't think she made too much of a life of her own. Her whole life was her children. She was very close to her brothers. She was very close to Howard especially, and Stephen in his way too. And she cherished it. When they came to visit her in the last year or so, when she was having her problems, her face would light up when they walked in, and she was looking forward so much for them coming to see her. She unfortunately, at a young age, had horrible health things happen to her. She was only like 40 years old, or maybe 50 years old, when she had heart attack and stroke. But she overcame it, and she lived like nothing was wrong with her. She didn't accept that anything was wrong with her, and she went on with her life. She worked until she couldn't anymore, because in the early 2023s, she had a stroke again, and this one did a lot of damage to her mind, and she was not able to work anymore. She lived with me for the last few years of her life, and she would always would say to me, how can I do to get back to work? And I always had to remind her that she couldn't, but she always wanted to get back to work. And I had to remind her of why. Her last jobs were taking care of children, and I had to constantly remind her that you've lost your short-term memory. She still had a long-term memory. She still remembered things from years ago. But her short-term memory was failing. And I told her, I said, you have to make a life for yourself, not working now. You have to start, doing things. And the only thing she was interested in, it was happening to her children and her grandson. The day he was born, changed her whole life and her whole outlook and her reason to be alive. And all she did every day when I came home was tell me about Shane, show me pictures on the phone about Shane, and that was a very big part of her life. When she had to go to the hospital, and then to therapy. She wanted to come home to my house, but we were told that if she came home to my house, she would not be alive very long because her short-term memory made her not realize the medicine she had to take and the food she had to eat and the things she had to do to keep herself alive. So they suggested that we put her in the long-term care where she would have supervision over what she did. She had a hard time coming to terms with it. Because she was also in denial of her condition. She and I had conversations, normal conversations, pleasant conversations, but a half hour later she wouldn't remember them. But the next day we could have another nice conversation, and you wouldn't think there was anything wrong with her. It was only the fact that her short-term memory was leaving her. She wanted to come home, and we explained to her why. She was in denial of anything wrong with her. I'm fine. I can walk now. I can everything, and that's true. And she did attempt to do all that. But we knew, and we were told, that if we want her to be alive, she should stay in the long-term care where there's supervision over her. And I think at the very end, she was acclimating herself to it. It's not what she wanted, but I think she was acclimating herself a bit that this is where I am, at least for now. If not forever, I'm here for now. I saw her for the last time 10 days before she passed because I myself was sick with a bronchitis and a terrible cough. I could not go to a place where there were people who I was going to subject to my illness. But the last time I saw Mindy, as I was leaving, she grabs my hand, pulls me toward her, and says, "I love you so much, Mother. You mean the whole world to me." And her next remark was, "I am so glad I went to Florida to see where Kyle and Ryan lived, so I know what kind of life they are living." And those were her last words to me. Her whole life was her children, through bringing them up. And to this day, I used to tell her, they're grown-ups, they're adults. They deserve their own life, Mindy. You can't expect this, that, and the other thing from them. They have to live their lives. We're all in family, part of each other's lives, but each one of us have our own lives. And I kept trying to get her to say, "Mindy, you have to make your existence positive and let your children live their lives the way they want to." But with Mindy, it was always her children, and they were always on her mind. And Shane was one of her children, her newest one. And she was looking forward every time to see him and talk about him. And I am very thankful that David and Corey brought their new baby, Ethan, to see her. And she saw him a couple times. We have pictures of her with him, and those are pictures that we will cherish. And I certainly will have out in my house, because she was also looking forward to being a part of his life. Mindy was very close to her sister, Amy, who passed 15 years ago. day after day, she would constantly mention, if Amy was alive, my life would be different. Because Amy was a true older sister to her. And they got along very well. In fact, Amy used to say to me, Mom, you got to look at Mindy, not the way you want her to be, but who she is. And that's how Amy looked at Mindy, who she was. And she said to me, Mom, you have to start doing that too. Not how you want her. Mindy and I, as I said, were different, but we got along. When I walk in my house now and I don't see her on that chair, it hurts. I'm not a person who shows my feelings outward, but in my heart, I will always remember my youngest child, my youngest daughter, Mindy. The love she gave to all of us and the love we gave to her. Through the positives in our lives and through the negatives in our lives. And as I assume you all know, there are both. We have negatives and positives. Now, our mind doesn't have to sit there and think. Of course, in the end, she started to think of more negatives than positives. She's away from that now, hopefully at peace. That's how we want to think of it. And we will always remember her. I know I will, because I know every day of my life I remember Amy. So I know that every day of my life I'm going to think and remember Mindy. I thank everyone for being here and sharing today with us, because this, to me, is Mindy's final day, and that means a lot to all of us. Let me just say something. There are some deficits to living too long. One is what just happened to me, and another is outliving your children. Those are the two deficits in life, living too long. Other than that, living long is great.
Just so you know, she didn't hurt herself.
I'm okay.
She didn't bang anything.
I am
She's
okay. The hill.
I'd like to read the following poems as if Mindy were here now. If Mindy were here, I think she might say to all of you, don't grieve for me, for now I'm free. I'm following the path God laid for me. I took God's hand when I heard God call. I turned my back and left it all. I could not stay another day to laugh, to love, to work or play. Tasks left undone must stay that way. I found that place at the close of day. If my parting has left a void, then fill it with remembered joy. A friendship shared, a laugh, a kiss. Ah, yes, these things I too will miss. Be not burdened with times of sorrow. I wish you the sunshine of tomorrow. My life's been full, I savored much. Good friends, good times, a loved one's touch. Perhaps my time seemed all too brief. Don't lengthen it now with undue grief. Lift up your heart and share with me. God wanted me now. God set me free. I think Mindy might also say, do not stand at my funeral and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the soft, gentle autumn rain. And in the quiet morning's hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of birds in ever-circling flight. I am the soft starshine at night. Do not stand here today and cry. I am not there. I did not die. And finally, I think Mindy would want us to remember her in this way. This is a poem entitled Afterglow. I'd like the memory of me to be a happy one. I'd like to leave an afterglow of smiles when life is done. I'd like to leave an echo whispering softly down the ways of happy times and laughing times and bright and sunny days. I'd like the tears of those who grieve to dry before the sun, of happy memories that I leave when my life is done. We are now going to conclude our service here today with the traditional Jewish prayers. So I would ask everyone to please rise. The first is called El Mole Rachamim. O God, exalted and full of compassion, grant peace in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure to the soul of Mindy Monroe, who has gone to her eternal home. Master of mercy, we beseech you, remember all the worthy and righteous deeds that she performed in the land of the living. May her soul be bound up in the bond of eternal life. The Lord is her portion. May she rest in peace. And let us all say together, amen. And I'd now like to invite Howard to come up, and he's going to recite the Mourner's Kaddish.
My Hebrew is a little rusty, but we'll see. V'yit gadal, v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, v'yama di v'ra kirtzutze, v'yimlach malchusei, v'chaye kon uvyom echom, v'chaye dekal v'yin Yisrael, v'yagala uvizman kiriv v'yimru amen. Yehi shama rabbah mikarach, Leolam u'al u'lamaya. V'yit barar, v'yit tabak, v'yit pash... I should have had a drink of water. V'yit barar, v'yit maran, v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit halal, v'yit haleh, shemei dekudusha barichu. Leolam min kal, v'yachatza, v'sharata, tushbachata, v'nechamasa. Damiram, V'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'yom aleinu v'al kal Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom v'mara. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kal Yisrael v'yimru amen.
So the family's asked me to announce they're going to be having a luncheon at Passariello's. Everyone here is invited. You certainly can speak with the family afterwards, but everyone is invited to Passariello's for a little meal of condolence immediately following our service here today. Also, anyone who would like to make contributions in Mindy's memory, the family asked that those contributions be made to the Animal Welfare Association, the AWA. It's on Centennial Boulevard in Voorhees, and that information is up on our website as well. Once again, I would like to thank you all for joining us here today to honor Mindy Monroe's life. My fervent wish is that her memory will continue to be a blessing for all those whose lives she has touched. This concludes our service. Please take care and be well, and most importantly, take care of each other. Sure. Yeah.
when your time is up, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's why I feel that any decisions and anything that has happened to Mindy, her time was up, and there was nothing that we could do to stop what happened. And that's what makes me cope with losing a daughter at the age of 62. Years ago, 62 was a long life to live. Knowing my age now, 62 is not a long life to live. Her time was up, and we just have to digest that and realize it. And I know that's what makes me cope with why I'm still here and she is not. I just had to say that to them.
Thank you once again, folks. Please take care and be well.